plopped up into her head voice. Yeah, I said it. Hello everyone, Mark with Vox Academy here, and boy, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. Just an update, because I know it's been a little bit of time since we had like a proper reaction video and vocal breakdown. Kardashev finished its upcoming EP, The Bearing of Shadows. It is done. So we're all really excited about that. And we also finished tracking vocals for Never Breath, the black metal side project, which that's also amazing. We're mixing that right now. So that's kind of where I've been. It's kind of why I've been a little bit more busy than usual. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to break down a new track by Spiritbox. The song is called Blessed Be, and I like Spiritbox a lot. Like, they are very, very, very good. So just a little bit of background on Spiritbox, just in case you didn't know. The vocalist is Courtney LaPlante, I'm not sure how to say it, but Spiritbox was started by her and her husband, Mike Stringer. Courtney started in a Canadian band called Unicron, but then got kind of a little bit more prominence when she took over for I Wrestled a Bear Once's old vocalist Krista, and she was the vocalist of I Wrestled a Bear Once for a little bit of time there. And I think that's where she met her husband, because I know that he was playing fill-in for I Wrestled a Bear Once, and he helped write their last album, which I believe was called Hail Mary. Not sure if that's necessarily entirely accurate there, but that's how I remember it. So essentially, Courtney and Mike created Spiritbox because they wanted to try something new, get some different sounds going. I think anybody who's been in a band knows that feel where you just want to do something different, and thus we have Spiritbox. Spiritbox was actually just recently on a pretty big tour with After the Burial, but due to certain sicknesses that if I say the name, YouTube will flag my video, they had to stop that tour, which is a bummer. But so mote it be. Anyways, Blessed Be is a single off of their upcoming release. It's their most recent release, and we're going to listen to it. We're going to check it out. Now, what I'm anticipating from this is, in a lot of Spiritbox's music, there's a balance. Maybe 50-50 singing, screaming, 60-40. So, I don't know. Maybe they changed the balance up a little bit here, but I'm expecting about half and half. And if you're not familiar, what you're going to find is that Courtney is an amazing screamer and an amazing singer as well. So this is going to be a treat for all of us. So let's get the video going. I've got my keyboard ready, but I got to make sure I have the right thing selected here. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Proggy deliciousness. I dig it. I dig it.
I see my blessings all for you. I feel it fade from the inside.
Nice.
I open up to adore you.
That's cool.
Everything was just a crutch to preserve a life. Serotonin like
That's cool.
Would you pull me out into a place where there's nothing that's left for me but...
All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. That was really cool. So one reason I really like Courtney LaPlante as a singer isn't just because she's got a good voice. Like, yeah, she's got a beautiful tone. It's rounded, it's forward. She's got full control over it, but she adds little bits of nuance that I greatly appreciate. And I think in a lot of like prog bands, like proggy metal bands where they have singing and screaming, those nuances are really important because that's what kind of sets it apart from like something you would just hear on the radio versus like somebody who has extreme control over their voice. Like one thing that I thought was really cool is how she said the word up. I don't remember the melody, but let's go back. Let me pull the keyboard a little closer. I've got quite a setup going here, folks. I've got my keyboard because I'm sure we're going to have some singing that I want to talk about. So let's move the keyboard over here. And let's go back. I think it was right about here. Yeah, do you hear how she almost just breathed it? I open, I open. That's really interesting. I don't really feel like I've heard that before.
Adore you, but everything was just a crutch to preserve life. Serotonin life.
I also like the way she says serotonin. That's actually one thing I really like about singers, is when they take a word and the way that we normally pronounce it, serotonin, da 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 da, they change it to kind of play with the metering. So she says serotonin, something like that. Let's go back a little bit. Serotonin. I think that's it. That's more in my range too. Serotonin.
To adore you, but everything was just a crutch to preserve life.
Serotonin like a loaded gun.
I am a coward. You pull me out into a place where there's not.
Do you hear how her voice changed on the word place? That low and almost click to a high. It sounds like what she's doing there is... all right. So when we sing, we have our chest voice and our head voice and our mixed range. But the connection points between all of those and where a lot of people have difficulty is in the passaggio or the break. And like if you sing chest voice to head voice, oh, hear that? Oh, ooh. That break, a lot of people think it's bad. They're like, oh no, this break, I gotta get rid of it. I think it's good to learn how to clean it out. Ooh, gotta warm up into it, but cleaning it out's really important. But you can also use it kind of as a tool to move between the chest and head voice with a little bit of panache. So when she goes, again, I don't remember the melody because the song's new to me, but just listen to that little flip.
I see my blessings all for you.
I also like how she adds a little bit of not Fry screaming, but I
to adore you, but everything was just a crutch to preserve life. Serotonin like a loaded gun. I am a coward. You pull me out into a place where there's nothing
might be what's going on.
left for me but insecurity. And if I lose myself, blessed be I could survive in these chemicals for you. I'm full of love. Just out of reach, I could survive in these chemicals only for you. I say my blessings are for you.
So that was really neat because she's got such an ease to her voice, you know? Like in that section, she's got a little bit more power. And if I lose myself, blessed be I could survive in these chemicals for you. But she does it with such relaxation. I pulled up the lyrics here because I was like, I should probably know what she's saying. But there's like, it was so relaxed. Like, and that's one thing that I really think I also appreciate about her is that her singing is like so natural. It's so like rich and smooth. And a lot of that is just controlling your instrument, right? Controlling your voice. So let's jump back. I got to find a more efficient setup.
You say blessed be the fool.
Oh, whoa, whoa, oh! Did you hear that? How she like eases in and out of the word fool? Oh my God! Wow. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Do you hear that? Blessed be the fool, fool. Da, 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 ba, 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 ba. I love that nuance. And that's for me, like when I'm listening to a singer, that's the thing that for me like really grips my interest. What about you folks? What are some singers where you feel like they kind of take it the extra mile with adding nuance and flavor and flair to their singing voice, singing specifically? I'd be really interested to hear which singers you feel like not necessarily are like crazy out there, but that's fine too. But some singers that really kind of add their own personal flair to it. Who kind of does that for you? But let's keep going.
Looks at the eyes just to listen in frequency. It's just a flash to ignore you. To return in life, a loaded gun. I am a coward. You pull me up into a place where there's nothing that's left for me but insecurity. And if
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the way she said insecurity. So one thing that, like, if you've ever taken any singing lessons ever, you know that E's tend to turn to A's, but there's a little bit more to it than that. So, like, for example, in a Christmas song, you never hear anybody say Christmas. They say Christmas, right? Christmas. And so it to E to A, it's pretty common. But there's a little bit more of a reason that it just sounds better. So what I want you to listen to is I want you to listen to the way she descends the notes. What did you do? G sharp, G, F, D sharp, I think.
to ignore you, to return in life.
The way she picks up serotonin. Sarah. Oh, gosh.
It's just to listen in frequency. It's just a flash to ignore you, to return in life, a loaded gun. I am a coward. You pull me up into a place where there's nothing.
Here it comes. Pay attention. So, another reason that's important, like I said, is not only does it sound good, but did you hear how clean you could hear the notes change? The descending of the notes was very clear. So if she's up here, I'm gonna move down here. Sa right there. So I'm gonna descend to the notes just like she did, but I'm gonna do E and then I'm gonna do A, and you'll hear that A, those notes are a little bit more distinct just because of the way the vowel resonates. Now that doesn't mean you're locked into it, right? You can make the notes distinct on an E, but it's easier on an A. So we'll go E, 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 E. Now A. Hey, 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 hey. The way that they resonate is a little bit different, and you can pick out those notes very cleanly. So it's like we're moving down, not moving down a fretless guitar, but, you know, moving down a fretted guitar, for lack of a better analogy, but let's keep going.
Nothing that's left for me but insecurity. And if I lose myself, blessing me, I could survive in these chemicals for you. I'm only full of love. Just out of reach, I could survive in these chemicals for you. When soon to die, in catacombs of restless bones, consumed alive. This is
I'm not even gonna say anything. We're just listening to that again. The way she manages those, she just slowly, like, it's weird because she's slowly leaning into those vowels so delicately, but it makes her voice feel so powerful. Like her control, I just love it. I just love it. Do you folks find that some vowels are easier or harder for you? I don't think she has any difficulty with any of them, but I know some people, they just have like that one vowel that's really difficult. So let's check it out. We're just gonna listen to it again because, geez, that section was amazing.
blessing me, I could survive in these chemicals for you. I'm only full of love. Just out of reach, I could survive in these chemicals for you. When soon to die, in
saying? Caught, consumed by light, a kamikaze, ba-da-da-da. Let's go back to those lyrics. I've got limited monitor space, so I'm like trying to balance here, but let's go back to the lyrics. She sounded like she said the word catacombs, and this must be it. Entombed to die in catacombs of restless bones, consumed alive. I think that was it. Consumed alive, something like that. But she just leans in and out of those vowels so well, and a lot of that is going to be controlling the resonance, but also the diaphragm, right? That's our gas pedal. It's kind of similar to the... we've talked about it on the channel before, but it's kind of similar to the singing technique mezza da voce, which is like easing into your volume and resonance. For an example, what that sounds like... Right? Having that level of control, a lot of it comes from the diaphragm, and she's doing it masterfully. Masterfully. Switch over to the video. Boom. We haven't had any screaming yet. Here it comes. I just know. Yeah, we're screaming coming. Yes. Nice. Damn. Oh, so yeah, that's kind of a thing. Like, there are some bands where they don't really interweave. They're singing and screaming. They're just like, here's the singing part. Now here's the screaming part. Here's the singing part. Ooh, now back to the screaming part. That could get a little boring, a little borzo. But if you do it on a song here or there, I think it works out pretty nicely. And that was really cool. I like how we kind of had like a pseudo breakdown in there. Let's listen to it one more time, and then we're going to break down her actual screaming technique, because I think it's pretty important to talk about. I think right here. Sounds like she's saying I'm the heart of a coward. Yeah, so I think I understood some of those. Offer me, I have the heart of a coward. Okay, so let's check my levels here. Okay, so she did an interview last year, and I looked it up before this because I knew she was going to be screaming, right? She did it with Loudhailer magazine, where she talked about her screaming. And what she's doing here... You can really go either way with this, right? So you could totally do this kind of vocalization with a fry, with a vocal fry scream. And you could also do this vocalization with a false chord. Reason is, this is kind of in that sweet spot where it's more of like a distorted yell than it is like a fully, purely distorted, true chord removed, like deathcore scream, right? We've moved away from the deathcore for a minute, and we're looking at a new style now. So that's one thing I want to put in your head. Now this, in that interview, she talked about where the way she does it is really, really, really loud. Part of the reason for that, and in the interview she talked about like maybe she feels like that means she's doing it wrong, but I I would not fully agree with that, because part of what we're doing here is we're taking like a belt, right? So we're taking a belt. Hey! Oh, we're good. Hey! Right. And that belt is loud. Part of the reason is we're supporting it with our diaphragm, we're relaxing everything here, and we're letting that sound, bam, hit our soft palate, our hard palate, resonate, and come out like our face is like a megaphone, right? Hey, yeah. Now you can take that and you can do like the old school, like false chord, like Cannibal Corpse, like that, just old school. Usually the beginner false chord. Most people, when they're learning false chord, that's the sound they start off with, right? You can actually layer those two things together. Now, it can be a little bit difficult, and I don't advise starting there, but if you take that, that's kind of existing in an space, right? Now, when we're doing false chords, we shouldn't think about creating that noise, and adding the distortion on top of it, because we're not creating the distortion with our true chords, but you can move it up into like a, hey, 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 hey. Now, it's going to sound different because I'm a dude, and she's got a higher register than me, but she's saying, "Yeah, for me, I am the Lord of the coward." Right? Now that, super relaxed. Not really hard at all. It sounds crazy. I think I clipped a little bit. Sorry, everybody. It sounds super crazy, but it's not that much more effort than, "Hey, yeah, for me, I have the heart of a coward." Right? I'm going to step back. Hey, yeah, for me, I have the heart of a coward. It's actually very similar in effort. So it did look like in the video there was a little strain in her neck. I don't know if she was lip syncing or not. She mentioned in the interview that she had a little bit of strain, but like she's on point, really. She could, with just a couple exercises, she could get rid of that strain. I mean, she's an A+ vocalist as it is, in my opinion. But that's, before we move on, that's actually one thing I kind of wanted to talk about, is that like oftentimes in the metal vocal community, we treat metal vocals as like World of Warcraft. You got to pick your class and you got to stick with it. And, you know, if you want to do this job, you have to be this class or else. But in reality, it's more like Dungeons and Dragons. Like, we can multi-class, folks. It's allowed. So sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, I would love to cover that song, but I don't know how to do false chord." Or, "Oh, I want to scream like this guy, but I can't do vocal fry." And like, while it's true that the different styles have distinct sounds, it is not true that you are stuck if you don't have that one style down. Like, don't stop because maybe one style's not your strong suit. But for my screamers out there, you know, because this video is probably going to have a decent viewership of both singers and screamers. For my screamers, what do you like? Do you do false chord and fry? Where do you switch it up? Or if you stick to one, do you ever feel like you can't do a certain song because you don't know the technique, or do you just go for it anyway and create your own new unique sound? The second one, in my opinion, is the cooler of the two. But let's keep going, because there's a little bit more to this song from what I'm seeing.
Lose myself. Blessed be, I could survive in these chemicals for you.
All right, I know, I'm sorry, but did you hear how she plopped up into her into her head voice? Yeah, I said it.
I lose myself.
I also wonder if she'd be able to, I don't doubt her, but going from that scream to that beautiful clean note, that would be hard. That would be hard even for me live. Even for a lot of very experienced vocalists. It's doable. I've done it. I'm sure she could do it, but I just would be curious to hear how it sounds live. I bet she's awesome.
Blessed be, I could survive in these chemicals for
you. Now, did you see how, like, earlier in the video, I talked about how she's a little higher than me, right? Like, she sings in a higher register than I do, in a higher place on the keyboard. and it's tough, but that was easy. Granted, okay, my doesn't sound as good as hers because I'm a little bit out of my spot, but it sounded all right. So the reason that it sounded all right is because I put it in my head voice. I wasn't trying to take that right? I wasn't trying to take that and do it here. You hear that? Do you hear that strain? So that is me trying to do that high note, but still holding that resonance in my chest and in my throat. Doesn't sound very good, and if I do that too much, I'm going to be tired. So if I take my hand and I put it on my throat, and I do it the wrong way, which we just heard, doesn't sound good, and I feel a lot of vibration behind my hand. Now if I take that, I still feel vibration. You're going to, but it's less because I'm placing it in my cheekbones, in my mask. Up here, up there, right? And then once you can kind of manage that head voice, you'll find that your range extends just because you're kind of just doing things properly. But of course, she made it sound easy.
I lose myself. Blessed be I could survive in these chemicals for you. A lonely fool of all. Just out of reach, I could survive in these chemicals for you. Winter too tight. In catacombs, a restless blues consumed the night. This is my home. I'm waiting here for you.
Man, that song was killer. I do like the more like 50-50, 60-40 of screaming, but I don't know, that song, it really worked. It had a very delicate sound. It was really building on like the proggy groove versus like the harder, harsher elements. Less breakdowns and things like that. So I think for this song, it worked really well. According to the Plant, amazing singer. Fantastic. And that's all I have for this. Now, of course, we're going to feature a member of the Cardivox Academy community page right now. But real quick, if you liked that video, if you found it helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out quite a bit, actually. Helps the platform grow. And, someday I'll be able to make this my life. But anyway, stick around. We're going to feature a member of the Cardivox Academy community, a super cool place where we all upload our vocals and learn things from each other. And if you want to check it out, feel free to check it out in the link below. Let's head over. All right, so today we've got the good, the great, the amazing Nick here, member of the Cardivox Academy Facebook page, and he is rapping some screams over Eminem. Now, when I saw this, I was pretty excited because I've really been getting into rap tlely. A lot of, I believe they're all Florida rappers, but I've been listening to a lot of like Fat Nick, Shakewell. I just found Slump God the other day. He's got faucet failure. Too much drip, man. But anyway, I saw this and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta check it out. And he does a pretty good job. So let's listen to it, talk about it a little bit, and we'll get going. Of course, Facebook doesn't let me use a spacebar. Jeez.
Stand up, please stand up. I'm like a headset to listen to, cause I'm only giving you things to joke about with your friends inside the living room. The only difference is I got the balls to say what I all, and I don't got any balls to sugarcoat it at all. As you're a mic and spitting when you would like to admit it, I've just admitted that 90% of you rappers arrogant, and you wonder how can get to up these albums like volumes is funny. At the rate I'm going when I'm 30, I'll be the only person in the nursing home flirting. Engineer success is when I'm jacking all the circuits and I'm jerking with this whole bag of Viagra to working. Every single person is a Slim Shady, they're pretty could be working at Burger King. Me on your onion rings. When the parking lot circle ads, screaming loud, give a fuck. Put the windows down and the system up. When the windows shady, please stand up and put one of those speakers on each hand up. And be proud to be under your mind and out of control. One more time, and as you can, and as you go. I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. You want the Slim Shady, so just stand up. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up.
So that was awesome. Oh, that was so cool. What part of the reason I featured that wasn't just because it was fun and playful and kind of funny, but was also because he maintained his breath control really well. He was kind of building on this,
Like a mid
scream.
right here like this. Yay, well, I'm Slim Shady, you other Slim Shadys are just imitating.
I don't know the lyrics to that song, but anyway,
If you have this,
if you have like that mid resonant tone and you're not giving it much more effort than just speaking. So for example, if I'm just talking, hey, what's up, how's it going?
hey, what's up, how's it going?
They're about the same level of effort.
And you can talk like this for a while.
And then it's almost like you're talking with a distorted voice versus screaming, right?
Hey, 7-Eleven, 2-11, you and 7-Eleven, what I gotta do to get it through you? I'm simply imitated.
Right? That's a different Eminem song. But great job. Good breath management, not using more than you need, distorting your speaking voice, which sounded really cool. And I loved it. Keep it up. All right, folks, well, that's going to be it for today. Sorry my setup's a little bit weird. Normally, I've got the keyboard and the J and all the hotkeys that let me move around, but because I was bouncing back and forth between the lyrics, I had to move towards my mouse. Eventually, I'm going to get a better desk where I can kind of have everything, in proximity. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Spiritbox, Blessed Be, amazing song. And beyond that, of course, many thanks, much love. I'm out.